Audacity podcast. I'm your co-host Rachel, and I'm here today with Heather and Haley.
Hello. We made it.
So it is now April and wedding season is upon us. We thought today would be really fun to do an all advice episode where we answer advice questions about bachelorette parties specifically. Maybe as we work our way through wedding season, we might try a few more of these with wedding related questions. So if you would like to send us anything, you want to know anything about wedding etiquette or I don't know, anything having to do with weddings.
You want to tell us about your annoying sister-in-laws?
Yeah, like
future sister-in-laws. Send us good, send us bad.
Yeah, you want to spill a little tea, you want a little advice, you want to talk shit with us, write us. You can go to theaudacitypod.com/advice and we will maybe talk about it in an episode. Heather, would you like to get us started with today's first advice question?
Yes, it's good. Let's get into it. A couple of months ago, I started Bachelorette planning. I asked everyone their availability and researched locations and prices based on that. A few friends couldn't make it right off the bat. It was fine. I relayed the information to everyone, what they could expect in terms of activities, and everyone responded to the group text, excited and eager. A couple of weeks following, I booked my flight and sent everyone the info in case they wanted to be on the same flight with. No one responded. A couple of days after that, prices of course went up. Getting worried, I started asking people if they were booking their flights, and they all confirmed that they had. Now people are starting to drop out, which is a problem because we booked our Airbnb based off the total number of people that said they were coming. Now I don't feel any of my close friends are coming. People aren't there for me during the biggest time in my life, and I feel like I shouldn't have bothered to begin with. Do you have any words of wisdom?
I think we need to normalize saying no when you have no intention of actually going. I feel like people do this thing where they think they're being polite and they're like, oh yeah, I'll be there. And they drag it out to the last minute and they end up screwing over everybody else because they just didn't have the balls to say that they're not going to go.
I think people want to be there for people during this time. And then I do think that finances kind of start to come into play, you know?
Right.
And then unfortunately, there's also the dynamic of, well, who's going? And we actually talked about this on another episode when we talked about like people going to work out on vacation. And as trips start to come together and there are itineraries built, I feel like people start kind of getting cold feet because they're like, well, that's not what I wanted to do. And I'm not really down for that. If you can financially afford it and swing it and you're comfortable, it's not about you. Ultimately, it's about the bride. It's about spending time with her. She extended an invitation to you. He or she, if it's a bachelor party, likely wants you there for a reason. We're going to get into this. They seem to be getting really expensive, so I understand that element and that aspect. But if it's not about expenses, it's just about like being non-committal, I think it's kind of messed up.
Yeah, I have a different angle on this. Do you think now it's a little bit different than it used to be where it's getting a little bit more extravagant? I feel like weddings in general have just gotten out of hand where I feel like the second someone asks you to be at a wedding, you're like, oh, well, that's like 10 grand. Think about it. The bachelorette, the bridal showers, the dresses, the makeup, the hair, whatever, like what the travel, like I do think that times have changed.
Okay, given all that though, like I do agree with you that the finances have gotten out of control, but this person who asked for this advice did say that they went over the budget and everyone confirmed that the budget worked for them and then they're waiting till the last minute to drop out. And to me, it's like, okay, yes, we all understand that weddings have gotten a little bit out of control and the finances, like everybody is pushed to the brink. But at the same time, if the finances are laid out in front of you and then you wait to the very last minute to drop out or to have the balls to say, this is too expensive for me to go on, I'm not going to be able to make it. Like, I think
you're putting other people out.
Exactly. You end up hurting everybody else that's going to go because you don't have the courage to just let down the bride straight off the bat. And I think that that's just become like such a part of our culture, unfortunately, that people are too afraid to let down someone that's wants them to be there, that they end up damaging the finances of everybody else that has to go. They're disappointing the bride at the last minute who thinks it's all falling apart. And they end up damaging the whole situation more than if they were just upfront saying, I can't afford this. I do think that one way to avoid this situation is to request a financial commitment from everyone straight off the bat. So if you RSVP, yes, you have to include a financial commitment, which could be like a deposit on the house or whatever it is, where it's non-refundable. So
Yeah.
you know that the people who are saying yes to you are willing to put money down on the table to commit to be there. And that will weed out all the other people who are maybe going to pull this kind of
Yeah.
bull crap at the
I
end.
agree.
Yeah. And I also think that it's hard to want to be a part of something and to like have FOMO because you can't, but people just need to be adults about like what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
You know, and then I think
100%.
and then I think brides, I don't think grooms really are like this. I don't know, maybe there are. Sometimes guys are worse than girls. But then brides have to also understand, like, listen, I love you. I wish I could do this. I wish I could be a part of this. Like, unfortunately, with what you guys are doing, I just can't do this. And I don't want to let you down. I don't want to not be able to do all the things or hold you guys back. Like, there's just a part of being able to have that conversation.
Yeah. I do feel bad that this bride is feeling very let down and disappointed. I do think it's a slippery slope for some people to, they have high expectations of people showing up for them. And when it turns out that that's not the reality, that can be really difficult. Everyone likes to think that during their wedding or for their wedding day and all their wedding events, that everyone's going to show up for them the same as they probably showed up for their friends when they need it. But that isn't always the way that it happens. And I think that it's definitely a dose of reality to have to sit with it and know that, okay, maybe things aren't working out the way that you always envisioned, which can be really painful.
And I think also being honest about your current situation where, if the person that you're in the wedding is in your hometown and they're doing things that are local, then that's, you could do that. But if they're not, then, and they're asking you to travel wherever it is, if you cannot fund that, if you can't get the time off work, if you can't do the childcare, whatever it is, then you have to also understand that, especially as we're getting older, things change.
I think that's actually a great point too. I think it's twofold. I feel like friends who are, whether it's their first marriage or second marriage, whatever, some people are finances aren't as much of a problem as they might have been at 25. It could be really, really difficult. And Rachel, you make a great point about realizing it's one thing for someone to be going through a storm and realizing who's willing to stand in the rain with you when they don't have to. But it's a whole nother thing when it's supposed to be a joyous time and people still aren't standing by your side.
Yeah.
And that's the tough one.
Well, speaking of wedding finances, I do know that we have another question that was addressing this. Should we just go straight into that? Because I think we're already tiptoeing around that conversation. Yeah.
We definitely are. Okay. So it says, why have bachelorette parties become such big and expensive spectacles? I'm currently planning a weekend bachelorette trip as my friend's maid of honor. Overall, the bride isn't very demanding, but she has expensive taste and high expectations. I'm excited for the trip and to celebrate her. I just wish it wasn't so damn expensive. I hate this culture and the expectation. I think social media has really played a role in blowing it up. I want to celebrate my friend and enjoy my time with her. I really do. But this is ridiculous. Why must I spend $1,000+ just to do so? I just got engaged and plan to do a one-day simple brunch, dinner, and going out that night. I get that that's my choice, but I wish more brides would think about cost and how much money their bridal party is spending just to attend the wedding alone, which for me will be about $600 plus, after the dress, hotel, transportation, and wedding gift. What do you think is an appropriate amount to ask friends to spend for their bachelorette party?
Oof. Well, and I think that definitely has to do with where you live, because I think that changes a lot of that.
And where you're going.
Yeah. Personally, I think it's hard to answer this because we've been married. Divorced. I'm
we're the right people to answer because we've been married.
I want to be don't waste your fucking money. No.
I did not know you were going there. She's like, fuck that bitch, don't go.
I was like, you know what? Just go to Vegas. Girls trip. Don't even say it's a bachelorette. Like,
I have maybe a controversial opinion on this. And that is if you are a bride and you would like a somewhat extravagant destination bachelorette party, we all need to normalize the bride contributing a big chunk of money into that expense.
Absolutely.
If you are planning on having a destination bachelorette, you need to come prepared to spend maybe $1,000 to $3,000 of your wedding budget into your bachelorette party to offset the costs for your guests.
Absolutely.
And I think it's ridiculous to ask people to, cover the whole thing and not host them in some type of way when you're trying to have like this extravagant bachelorette party. Like, I'll use myself for an example. I had a bachelorette party. I think everyone probably out the door spent about $1,000, but I put in a few $1,000 so that when I asked all the attendees for money, I said, just send me $350. And that covered the house, that covered like 2 or 3 meals, that covered a boat day, a breakfast chef, their contributions, plus what I put in covered all of that. And then they were just responsible for like their flights and like a handful of meals. And then I know like Heather, you and Alana and Taylor paid for like table service or something, like a couple nights out, bottle service or whatever. But like,
we'll just stop there.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, all in all, like, what I asked people to put in was very upfront.
Can I just come from like a totally different side of that? Where
Yeah.
okay, so maybe someone doesn't have the funds to
Yeah.
be able to pay for 5 or 6 other people, and like, but you can't expect the bride to have
I'm
to
not
pay
saying an expectation, but I'm saying we need to like kind of normalize that if the bride herself is asking people to go do something extravagant, she needs to be prepared to chip in some of her wedding budget into.
Or you just accept that people can't come.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. And both of those things actually can apply at the same time.
When I got married, we paid for our own wedding. Like, our parents didn't pay for it. So like, we had to pay for our entire wedding, like for the most part. Like, there was very little bit that like our parents.
Can I ask what you did for your bachelorette party?
I went to Vegas.
Right. That's not a huge ask.
No, it honestly, it wasn't. I mean, it was a bunch of girls. Like, we knew what we were doing. I was like,
yeah,
this is an easy like girls trip. And I personally was like, it just felt right.
Yeah.
Vegas. Yeah. And I knew we would be like taken care of, like a big group of girls. I didn't ask for much, to be honest. Yeah, like, in my whole wedding, I didn't.
That's what I'm saying, though, is like, you are not the kind of bride that I'm talking about. Like, that's a very small ask. Like, we live in California. I'm guessing the majority of your people weren't coming from very far. They could even drive if they wanted to. Like, they don't have to buy flights. They can carpool. I would consider, like, if you can drive there, that's a somewhat local bachelorette party, right? That's not necessarily what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about here is more of like a destination extravagant bachelorette party. And those do seem to be more and more common these days. So I'm saying, as a bride, you really need to think about it. And you're like, okay, well, what am I asking people to do? And am I willing to throw in anything to help offset the costs of my guests so that I can have my dream bachelorette party? Right?
I also think that there's an element here where if you know that it's not something that you can commit to the entire trip, I do think that there are still kind gestures, right? If it's something you actually like care to be a part of and care to treat the bride to, like, thank you for including me. I would love to take you out for the night here. Or thank you for including me. Like, I'm gonna Venmo the maid of honor $200 for drinks at dinner. There are things you can still do to like show that you care. And it's a nice gesture if you can't go. I think that's kind of where you realize like who wants to be there and who doesn't. You can still be thoughtful in other ways.
What amount do you think, just if you were to have a bachelorette party tomorrow, like what amount would you feel comfortable asking people to spend? Like, that was the question. I think like $1,000 is a really reasonable ask. If it was more than $1,000, I'd be annoyed.
I think that honestly, that's unrealistic, but I think that
now, yes,
I agree. I don't think you're gonna get much for $1,000 anymore.
I know,
and that's too bad. I'm gonna say, realistically, like $1,500 and then make sure that you have a few grand
At least.
for when you're there. I think it's ridiculous to also expect people to carve out more than 4 days, like more than 4 nights. I can understand like an extended weekend. Get out of here with your 7 days.
7 days.
But
anything
you know,
over
7
3
days.
But you
anything
know
over
that we're
3
seeing
nights,
these
I'm
things.
saying
But
I would have to quit my job.
but you know that's what we're seeing. Like we're seeing crazy things. You see crazy things.
No, anything over 3 nights to me is ridiculous. That's a
Yeah.
massive ask.
But I feel like
I would be fired.
But you guys, I feel like, and maybe it's like maybe not like the 28-year-old girlies who are getting married the first time. I feel like some of these bitches who us on their second wedding, they're like, I'm going to go to my holistic retreat and we're going to do, you know, like it's not that they're like living it up in Vegas, but they're like wellness and I'm doing it right this time and I'm redoing it. And I'm like, okay, all right, you do that.
If someone invited you to just a like 1 day long bachelorette party in your town that you live in, would you be like really stoked to go to that?
Never.
My
Like that
hometown?
Well, no, not like what that girl said. No, okay, not your hometown, but like somewhere where you did no, like someone
New Philadelphia?
Okay,
Where the
let's
Amish are?
Yeah. Haley's from where the Amish are, so not her hometown. But like if you didn't have to go anywhere and like the girl in the question said, for her bachelorette, she's doing a 1 day thing, a brunch, a dinner, and like a going out. Would you guys be like stoked to go to that? Would you be like, this is the sickest bachelorette party ever? Like
No, but I'm definitely going to do it. I'm not going to be worried about what we're spending.
Yeah,
and I'm going to be happy to celebrate the bride. I'm not going to be super stoked, but I'm also not going to. Okay, this is what I'll say. If I'm invited to your bachelorette party, chances are you're pretty cool, so I'll be stoked.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, and also,
like you're probably pretty fun.
Yeah.
If you're inviting me a week to the Amish, I'm going to go for maybe 2 days and then I'll go home. I might politely decline the last 5 days.
Politely.
Regrettably.
Okay. Should we get into Haley's advice question? Because we were already kind of started tapping into it.
Let's do it.
Okay, 1 second.
I always manage to sound like a bitch. No, I'm not going.
No, I mean.
But you know what? That's actually like, it's not true because I feel like so many people do their bachelorette parties here and they're like, H, like, I'm doing it in Scottsdale. This is perfect. And I'm like, awesome. I'll be there. And I'm still excited.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I've even been to a bachelorette party where like with a completely other different friend group where like come 3 a.m, I'm like, Heather, come over.
And I absolutely came over and we hot tubbed.
Yeah.
Okay, ready. I'm 39 and getting married for the second time. What are your thoughts on having a second bachelorette party? Do you have any suggestions for what I should plan or what is acceptable? Thoughts?
I would love to have a second bachelorette party. That sounds really fun.
Listen, don't discredit just because it's the second time. It's going to be better. Right? So like do it. Just because you've been married before doesn't mean you need to like cast like this shadow of, oh, well, I can't do what I want to do and I can't celebrate this love and I can't celebrate this, you know, like this new blessing in my life. I understand maybe where some people are like, here we go again, 5 years later or whatever. Yeah. But don't diminish the goodness that you found in your life and take the opportunity to celebrate. I don't think there's a problem with that.
I completely agree with that. And I think it's definitely like a case by case thing. But I think it's a very like personal thing where like I don't think I would do it again just because it's just how I feel. Mm-hmm. But I'm not like knocking someone who does want to do it again.
What if you get remarried and it's someone who's never been married before, so they want to have their bachelor party? Would you maybe do like something like a bachelorette? Like, do you think it would be awkward if they really want to do a bachelor party? Because like obviously you don't want to rob them of that experience.
I agree with that, but
yeah,
I think I wouldn't feel like I had to do that again. Like I said, it's a very personal thing. Like everyone's going to feel different. And like whatever your experience is, it is how you feel. But I personally would not feel like I had to do that again.
Yeah. I think that I would never want to like withhold that experience if I remarried and they hadn't been married. And even if they had been married and they're like,
want to have another.
Like, okay, you know, like I could see myself actually wanting to be like, oh, I'm going to go do like a retreat, like maybe something that's like revitalizing, not necessarily like I'm going to go turn up like
different, not Vegas. Like,
yeah. No, maybe.
I was about to say, if it were me, I would get a small group
Yeah.
together and do something really fun and expensive.
Yeah, I
No,
how
sorry.
much would it cost us?
I was like,
I'm like, you guys better get your like passports together, okay? No, it's just,
Say-
I don't even have a boyfriend. But if it were me, I would do something with a really small group that I really loved, that wanted to come and celebrate. Maybe not something that's super like party or like stripper centric, but it was like beach and cocktails and like
that's what I mean. Like relax,
prank
like
calling, like a really good beach sleepover with the girls.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
That would make me feel really good.
Can we just do that anyways?
Yeah, I know.
Like, why do we need a groom?
I don't know. I really honestly don't know. I do think that socially it's a little sticky being a woman, getting married for the second time and being like, which rituals do you participate in? Obviously, people think it's like really taboo to do a registry. I think that there are some opinions, but I think that like if you want to have another bachelorette, go off. If you have friends that had so much fun the first time that they're willing to do round 2 with you, like hell yeah. You know?
By all means.
I don't know. It's giving like yacht or something, like small boat with your girls, like
You're
glamping. No, absolutely not. Okay, we have one left. This one's kind of spicy. I'm looking for advice about whether I should tell my soon to be husband about something that happened at my bachelorette party. We are getting married in just 3 weeks. Last weekend, I had my bachelorette party in Vegas, and it was truly a wonderful time. Lots of laughing, wine, and party nights out. One of the nights involved going to a strip club. Not exactly my style, but all in good fun. My husband was fully aware and on board with a strip club visit. At the club, my bridesmaids bought me dances from a few of the male strippers, which was fine and fun. This was all very unlike me, which they got a big kick out of. Toward the end of the night, they asked me who my favorite was, and I told them a guy who was the most cute and normal seeming of the bunch. They bought me a private dance in a VIP room. So I went. It was just the two of us. It was just the two of us. Everything was fine. There was no touching or anything. But during the time back there, he asked if I wanted him to take off his bottoms to see a guy naked for one last hurrah. In a moment of weakness or bad judgment, I said yes. He looked really good naked. I liked it. It was fun. It was sort of liberating. It was a turn on. I was blushing like crazy, but couldn't take my eyes off of him. He got aroused at one point, and my heart was beating like crazy. Anyway, that was it. Nothing more happened. I did think about him again at the hotel room that night. I was very worked up, and yes, I did take care of myself thinking about the whole situation. But it hasn't been on my mind since. Do I need to tell my fiance about this?
well,
okay, I'm just gonna jump right in on here. Okay, first of all, I think guy strip clubs are disgusting. I've never been to a guy strip club. I've
Like
had
with guys strippers, you mean?
yeah. Like I'm not here for it. Ew. Okay, if that's what you went for, like, what did you think it was? Like, they take all of their clothing off, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news for like sweet little country bumpkins who didn't realize that that's what happens, but like. That's what happens.
I mean, they went into a private room.
Yeah, like what? Like what do you think was happening there? It's kind of annoying. Like these ideas that like, oh, like you go to the strip club and nothing, and they're just like over there. No, what? No, that's not what strip clubs are anymore. That's not what they are.
Some downplaying here.
Oh, you think on behalf of the woman who is writing it?
Yes. Are you kidding? Oh, you went into a private room. I'm not new here. Like this is the
no, and that's like none of us. None of us are new. And we all know what goes on in girl strip. Like we've all seen it. Like we all know.
And to answer the question, no, you should not tell him because chances are what he's doing are way worse.
Okay. I don't know about, we don't need to imply all of this, but I'm just going to say.
Here it goes.
I'm being real. You want the real answer? 100% answer. That's my answer.
100%.
This all sounds a little jaded. I will say that unless your fiance is someone who might be a little turned on by this story, because those men do exist. If he's not that kind of guy, that would be like into the thought of you jerking it to the thought of the stripper, then I would say do not tell him your masturbation stories are for you and you only. Like, he already knows you saw naked men. He already knows you're at the strip club. Really, the only thing that you need to continue talking about is the fact that you were jerking it after to the strippers.
Lock it in, girl. Lock it in.
And,
Lock it in.
and some things like you keep to yourself, and I think that's one of them. Unless he's going to be into it, unless he's going to be like,
I'm not going to be into that. Like, I don't want to.
No.
I don't want to know.
I feel like I would know some guys that would be into it, knowing about that. Like, some guys I've dated in the past would be like, yeah, tell me more about that.
Wait. I'm sorry. Okay, you're saying that guys you've dated in the past would be into knowing about you rubbing one out and like flicking the bean to a stripper.
yeah.
Look at the bean. And?
Yeah, no, they would be like, hot.
Okay. Interesting.
And this is weird.
So people are into some kinky weird shit. And so all I'm saying is, like, if your husband isn't into that weird kinky shit, then you should just keep that one to yourself. That's all.
Okay, if I really like you, I don't want to know about that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I agree. Like
if I like,
less is more.
Men are just different, though.
Yeah.
But less is just always more.
Yeah.
Anyways, don't tell him.
Keep that one to yourself.
Should we get into the top 8?
Let's do it.
The Sephora sale is starting this week.
Ooh.
So all of mine are Sephora related, in case people want to take 20% off and check everything out. First on the list for our top 8, can't believe I'm going to say this out loud. I was actually influenced by Tinks. It is the NARS liquid blush in the color Dolce Vita. I had never used it before, obviously, but I got it like last week. It's a really nice kind of like dark, earthy blush tone that I think will go really nice once I'm a little bit more tan. But it kind of gives you like that summer glow if you're into liquid blush. NARS. The color is Dolce Vita. I think it's great. I might actually try one of their lipsticks in the same color.
I've never tried liquid blush.
I like it. I like the way it blends.
When do you put it on? Like after the foundation?
It's like the very last thing to put on. Because it kind of also gives you like sort of a skin texture. It makes your skin actually look like skin, if that makes sense. I'm into it.
Okay, I'll go number 2.
Okay.
That came out great.
Yeah.
We're 5.
We're all so mature.
Here I am. Anyways, have you guys ever heard of Dr. Sturm?
Yeah. Barbara?
Yes.
Barb?
Her products are actually some of my favorite. But the eye cream, you put it on, you actually feel it working. And you're supposed to put it on the eyelid also. So as you are getting older, that little eyelid.
The little droopy droop?
Starts to go a little down. We want it up.
I massage that every day to keep it up in the shower. I do little...
Do you not remember? A year ago, I was get this eye cream.
No, I remember sometimes when we're drunk at your house, you make me do different skincare routines. So yeah, I do remember the night that we were a little tipsy and you were like, come use Dr. Barbara Strom. And
you know what? If it's tingling, it's working. And I'm paying for it. If it's tingling, I'm here.
I just checked. It's on Sephora. So next week, 20% off. We'll link it below in the show notes. Check it out.
So mine is not a beauty product, but so we have a puppy. He's not a puppy anymore. He's a year old. He's a maniac, and he has basically annihilated most of our outdoor patio, Sunbrella furniture. So I was on the hunt for new outdoor, and I came across Oliver James Lilos. Lilos. It is so awesome. So he does inflatables, he does backyard gear, he does portable chairs for the beach, towels, but you have to see it. I am not doing a good job of selling it. It's very chic, very just well appointed. Like you're gonna throw these floaties in your pool, and you like feel like you're resort ready.
Oh yeah, these are chic. Okay. Are these all floaties? Like you can put them in the pool?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. These are
Yeah. So,
very chic.
and then they also have like there's some lounging stuff that he has.
Hmm.
Anyways, I was like, yes, absolutely, absolutely sold.
Yeah, lots of like stripes. It kind of feels like Italian summer.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Okay, keeping on theme with the Sephora sale, number 4 is from the brand Skin Fix. So I actually love all their products that I've tried, but the one I continually go back to is their Triple Lipid Boost 360 Eye Cream. It's just like really, I almost want to say thick, but like the way it goes on, it just feels so hydrating and soothing. I have allergies, and so I'm always rubbing my eyes, and it's year round. Like I'm allergic to like cockroach poop and stuff that's just like in the air. That's super irritating. I know. That's like we're breathing all the time. We just don't realize it, which is kind of
Oh,
disgusting.
that is so disgusting.
Yeah. Anyways, I find myself like touching my eyes way more than I should. But I do find that this eye cream, it just feels like really soothing and nourishing. And the way it just like sits within the skin just feels really nice. So, number 4. And again, 20% off next week. Click below.
Do you think though that there's something to be said about like layering certain products?
I do, but I have no idea how any of that stuff works. Maybe we need to have someone on who can talk to us about this, like your
We
skin
should.
barrier and all that.
I'm for that. Please
Yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
would be fun.
educate me. Okay, 5.
Yeah.
This one's good. Beyonce's new album,
Oh, yeah.
Cowboy Carter. That one hit
What was it?
home.
Cowboy Carver?
Cowboy Carter.
Okay.
Or Carter Cowboy. I don't know. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
But all I'm going to say is it would really suck to be named Jolene right now.
You know what? Out of everything that's come out of that album, my favorite are all the memes that are like, Jolene, I can see how you be like attracted to my man. And then it's the next slide is the ugliest photo of Jay-Z you've ever seen before in your life. My favorite is one of him on a jet
That's the
ski.
guy that bamboozled you.
Yeah, the one is like a him on a jet ski, like with a little helmet on and like sunglasses, just looking like so fucking ugly. And it's just like, girl, no one. Okay. Like,
Do you remember the one that was like, it was like, do you think that this is the guy that Dolly Parton was trying to warn Jolene about taking the man?
yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
Not to say Jay-Z's ugly, but through this album is how I learned that he had an affair. Like he cheated on Beyonce.
obviously.
Yeah, and I was like, if Beyonce can't even not get cheated on, like none of us have hope. All right,
Okay.
what's next?
Number 6 is by Glow Recipe, which is also available at Sephora. I just checked.
Wow.
It's their watermelon glow nice and hue drops, and it's for the dewy girls. So it's actually good for your skin, and it gives you this beautiful radiant glow, and it's for all different skin types and colors. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I've used that before. Actually, Natalie gifted it to me, and then
Really?
like a few days later, she came and she's like, "Can I actually have that back?" And I was like, "Sure."
What? Wait.
No, you need to. You gotta understand our dynamic. She was like, "I hate it," and I was like, "She's like, you can have it." And then she was like, "Actually, I want it back," and I was like, "You can have it back."
She like saw it
even
on your skin. She's like, that shit slaps. I'm gonna need it back.
I'm so fucking dead by that.
Jeez. Oh,
I love
Natalie.
her so much. Only she would be like, "Actually, I'm gonna hand it back."
Actually, you know what?
For the few days that I had it, though, it was really nice. So
Oh my
maybe
god.
I should
Okay.
re-up.
Maybe I'm gonna gift it to you.
I will say in my gypsy life, which we have not talked about, Natalie was the hostess of the mostest.
She was.
All right, number 7. No,
Okay.
number 8. Number 7.
Number 7. Okay, one last beauty product. Just maybe if you want to check out the Sephora sale. It's the Benefit Cosmetics High Beam Satin Pink Liquid Highlighter. Literally been using this since high school. it is another liquid product that you kind of dab on, and it just makes you so glowy in like a good shimmery kind of like summery way. So get your highlighter. Benefit
You know
Cosmetics.
what? I'm going to bounce right off of that one because
Okay.
we didn't have an 8.
What? Yeah.
I don't want to tell the secret.
What?
This is my favorite highlighter of all time.
Oh,
Another one.
And you cannot even get it. You have to like get it from like
Amazon, I thought.
basically. It's a
That
good
good?
secret.
Yeah.
Becca Opal, that highlighter is the best highlighter you can buy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'll say.
Okay, so you're trying to one up my liquid highlighter. I see you. Okay. Battle of the
Promise you,
highlighters.
I beat you.
We'll see who gets more clicks below, okay?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, Natalie goes, all right, I already told my my makeup artist for the wedding.
Oh, to get the open to get
She
the
goes, she had it.
oh, amazing.
But you can't get it. They discontinued it. That's why it's a problem.
Oh.
So followers,
Followers.
don't sleep on this one.
Oh my goodness.
Well, on that note, thank you everyone for tuning in again. I'm probably gonna edit it out, but Haley did receive another 10-pack of Fireball via DoorDash.
Not package, which is questionable.
Via DoorDash while we were recording this episode. So, anyways, thanks for listening. Send us any more advice questions you might have to theaudacitypod.com/advice, and we'll get to your questions. Send us something juicy.
Yeah, come on, people.
Please.
Give us some drama. Like, I want to comment.
You know who you are, and we want you.
Yeah. That. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Literally, as it turns out, literally, guys, because we're
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
boys.
Bye, guys.
No,
Literally.
like literally 60% of you guys are men. We see you. Okay. Bye.